Let's practice the use of mid-action qualifiers with different constructions. Affirmative construction. Photography has definitely become a mainstream phenomenon. In this phase, we will practice the use of some action qualifiers in the middle of a construction to talk about how actions happen or how often we do them. We call them the mid-action qualifiers. Example: I frequently eat lunch at home. In this construction, frequently is the mid-action qualifier. Affirmative construction. We will probably talk to the arguing man tomorrow. He occasionally irons his shirts. We frequently visit our family. They finally finished their homework. I always drive my car. Remember, some action qualifiers are called mid-action qualifiers. Because they are commonly placed in the middle of a construction, the position of the mid-action qualifiers in a construction may vary. Example 1. She always comes on time. The mid-action qualifier generally goes before the only or the main action word, or before the basic words that require the two forms, want, wish, need, etc. in a construction. Example 2. She's always on time. The mid-action qualifier goes after the auxiliary word is, are, am in a construction. Example 3. She will always come on time. The mid-action qualifier goes after the basic words that don't take the to form, can, must, will, would, etc. in a construction. Here are some common mid-action qualifiers. Already. Basically. Occasionally. Usually. Probably. Sometimes. Frequently. Seldom. Finally. Never. Definitely. Eventually. Always. Negative construction. People sometimes don't like to share photographs of themselves on the internet. Interrogative construction. Simple question. Is photography basically considered a hobby for people in the last decade? No, photography is definitely not only considered a hobby for people. Interrogative construction. Expansion question. Then, how is photography considered in the last decade? It is frequently considered also as a craft, a profession, and an art. Interrogative construction. General question. Why do amateur photographers usually take cameras with them when they go on a trip? Amateurs usually take them when they go on a trip because they definitely love to keep memories of favorite times, capture special moments, or simply as a source of entertainment. One of the most frequently used clichés of the last decade is a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. This may be the case. But there is a tendency to believe that the art of photography is a modern one. It is if you compare it with more ancient ones, for example writing, painting, sculpting, etc. But there is much more to photography than meets the eye. Few people know what the word photography means. It comes from the Greek words light and writing, and it was first used by German astronomer Johann von Medler in 1839. Since then, it has been impossible to talk about photography without using the word camera. The camera was called camera obscura, which means dark chamber. A small hole in the wall inside a dark room allow the image from outside to be projected into the room upside down. Things have evolved a lot in the photography business since the camera was invented. Today, professional photographers can make a very good living out of their craft, become specialized in several fields, and even acquire a certain degree of notoriety. Even the most inexperienced amateurs can take very good pictures, share, develop, print and modify them in their own computers. There should be no doubt that photography is an important part of our lives, and with the popularity of digital cameras, it will become a more mainstream phenomenon. New words and elements. Listen to the words and their respective definitions in order to know their meaning. Then listen to the words again and repeat them. Object. The cliché. Anything that has become very common through overuse. The cliché. The decade. A period of 10 years. The decade. The case. A situation, a circumstance. The case. The tendency. An inclination, bent, or predisposition to something. The tendency. The craft. An art, trade, or occupation requiring special skill. The craft. The field. An area of activity or interest within a particular business or profession. The field. The business. An occupation, profession, or trade. The business. The phenomenon. Something that is impressive or extraordinary. The phenomenon. The amateur. A person who takes part in an activity for pleasure. The amateur. The doubt. A feeling of uncertainty about the truth or reality. The doubt. The notoriety. The state of being famous for doing something, especially something immoral or bad. The notoriety. The degree. An amount or a level of something. The degree. The whole. An empty space or opening in an object. The whole. Idiomatic expressions. A picture is worth more than 1,000 words. If someone is talking too much or saying too many words. This expression is used to illustrate that speaking less is better. A picture is worth more than 1,000 words. More than meets the eye. Used to express that someone or something has a hidden significance that is greater than its first impression. More than meets the eye. Action words. To mean. To signify something, give a signification. To mean. To allow. To let someone do something or let something happen, to permit. To allow. To project. To cause a picture or light to appear on a surface. To project. To specialize. To follow some special line of study, work, etc. To specialize. To develop. Process film, to transform an image visible on exposed film. To develop. To modify. To change the form or qualities of something. To modify. To evolve. To change or develop gradually. To evolve. To acquire. To get or learn something through experience. To acquire. To share. To divide or use something with others. To share. Qualifiers. Modern. Describes something that is recent or of present time. Modern. Ancient. Something or someone very old. Ancient. Mainstream. Belonging to or characteristic of a principle, dominant or widely accepted, group, movement, style, etc. Mainstream. Inexperienced. A person that has a lack of practice in a particular activity. Inexperienced. Upside down. Having the part which is usually at the top turned to be at the bottom. Upside down. Without. With absence of something. Without. Time indicator. Since. From a particular time in the past until a later time. Since. Structure practice. I definitely want to be a wedding photographer. Now practice the mid-action qualifiers with the following conversation. Have you finally decided to start a photography business? Yes, I am certainly going to start it out, but I am definitely a bit inexperienced in the field and I don't know how to do it. Starting a photography business always comes with some planning. I don't really know what you exactly mean by planning. One important part of that planning is what kind of photography you should specialize in. Have you already thought about it? I have never thought about it. I always believed that being a photographer and living out of that craft was basically a matter of knowing how to use the camera. That's probably what most amateur photographers think, and that's unfortunately a tendency. Then, what is that knowledge I basically need to acquire? You should certainly specialize in any field of photography, newspaper photography, advertising photography, wedding photography, or landscape photography. newspaper photography, advertising photography, wedding photography, landscape photography. I had absolutely left out that aspect. I'll eventually choose to be a wedding photographer. What about the dark chamber? With modern technology in the form of digital cameras, you don't even have the need for a dark room. You only need to have a personal computer and a photo editing program. Really, there is definitely more to photography than meets the eye.